So we've been working on the side waist and the neck confluence, and today we're going to move to this posterior mediastinum area. And I've been kind of working my way through different areas of the lung for like the last 6 months. And we went into this whole neck jag recently, but we were still working on belling out the lung. But we're going to hit this point. So just put your hand at the bottom tip of your left shoulder blade for a moment. And right underneath that left shoulder blade, we've been putting the alpha ball the last couple of weeks at the end of the practice right there. And I just want you to feel that tip of the shoulder blade. It's like a little Horn of Africa down there. And this area, posterior mediastinum on the left side, is particularly immobile in the body because of the smallness of the left respiratory diaphragm. And then go ahead and feel that on the other side. So just take your other hand and put it under the bottom tip of your right shoulder blade and just feel that area right there. And this one is a little bit more mobile because the right leaflet of the respiratory diaphragm is larger and it moves around more easily, but we're also just going to be mobilizing this area. So we want to open up the space for breathing into the lung right there. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and start on the back. So go ahead and lie down for a moment. Lie on your back with your legs stretched out. So no bent knees, legs flat on the floor. And take an easy inhale. And as you exhale, just turn your right foot towards your left instep. And then as you inhale, point your toes toward the outside edge of your mat. And then as you exhale, turn your right toes towards your left instep and turn your right knee with it. And as you inhale, turn your right toes to the outside and point your knee to the right side of your mat as well. And as you exhale, turn your right toes to your left instep and turn your right knee and your right hip as well. And then as you inhale, turn your toe, knee, and hip to the outside. And as you exhale, turn your toe, knee, hip, and right rib towards the inside. And then as you inhale, turn your right toe, knee, hip, and rib to the outside. Go as slowly as you can. As you exhale, turn your right toe, knee, hip, rib, and even your collarbone towards the inside, like your right side of your body is made out of a giant foam roller that's rolling inward. And then as you inhale, turn your right toe, knee, hip, rib, and collarbone to the outside. Just go back and forth a few times on that right side, just taking that whole foam roller of the right side of your body on internal and external rotation. The next time you do that, if you know where your inside thigh, your lesser trochanter is, it's a little bumpy knob on the inside of your thigh, just consciously turn that down towards the floor as you internally rotate. It'll kind of invade into the side of your pelvic floor there. And then go ahead and externally rotate that side again. Looks really good. Yeah, just on one side, one foot. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then just let that go and lie flat on your back and just notice what the effect was on your body of working that right side foam roller, internally rotating and externally rotating that side of the body. And then we're going to go to the other side. So take an easy inhale. And as you exhale, point your left toes towards your right instep. And as you inhale, point that toe to the outside of your mat on the left side. And then as you exhale, turn your left toes towards your right instep and point your knee with it. And then as you inhale, take your left toe and your knee to the outside. And as you exhale, take your left toe, knee, and hip towards the inside. And as you inhale, toe, knee, hip to the outside. And as you exhale, toe, knee, hip, and left rib internally rotating. And as you inhale, toe, knee, hip, rib to the outside. And as you exhale, left toe, knee, hip, rib, and even collarbone internally rotating. And as you inhale, toe, knee, hip, rib, and collarbone to the outside. And just go back and forth a few times, noting which side is easier to move, the left side or the right side of the body, as you take this little internal and external rolling. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then go ahead and let that go and just notice, how did that feel on the body? Was that side as cooperative as the other side? Just noticing the effect of that movement on the body. And then go ahead and bend your knees and place your feet on the floor. Take your feet mat width apart. And then we're just going to take that movement, but we're going to hold it. So take an easy inhale. And as you exhale, drop your right knee towards your left instep. And just hold it there and reach your knee towards the foot of the mat. And while you're reaching it towards the foot of the mat and internally rotating it, really turn your right hip internally. And if you can find your lesser trochanter right on the inside of your right thigh, very close to your pelvic floor, consciously turn that point, turn that lesser trochanter, and just notice it crowding up in the right side of your pelvic floor. And then take your belly and just drape it towards the floor on the left side of your body. So you're turning your right knee and then your belly's reaching left. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then let that go and just windshield wiper your knees a couple of times. And then we'll take that on the other side. So take an easy inhale. And as you exhale, take your left knee and point it towards your right instep. And just drop and hold. Reach your knee towards the foot of the mat. So you're elongating the front of the hip a little bit. And really internally rotate that left hip. And if you can find your left lesser trochanter on the inside of your thigh, just turn that point down towards the floor and see if you can feel it kind of invading and crowding into the edge of your pelvic floor on that side. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then go ahead and release and take a couple more windshield wipes side to side. And then take your knees up into your chest. And then rock front to back until you've rocked yourself all the way up to seated. And when you're ready, just stand up and come to a forward fold at the front of your mat. Just let your head, base of skull drape down, elongating the spine. And think about those points that we felt right underneath the bottom tip of the shoulder blade, and just breathe in there. It's almost like you're cat arching your back a little bit from the in-breath as you puff up right below that bottom tip of shoulder blade, the back door of the heart, posterior mediastinum area. And then when you're ready, go ahead and inhale, look halfway up, and exhale, step your right foot back, slightly straighten your front leg any amount, cat arch your back, let your head go, lift and spread your left toes and fan your left foot side to side while you're pulling your left hip back and pushing your left heel forward. So you're elongating the back edge of the left leg. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then drop your right knee down and let your left knee come as much in front of the left ankle as it wants to, as you really drop your pelvis forward and sink your left sitting bone down, and just make a little circle with your left sitting bone. Your right hip's going to move, but your initiation of movement is coming from the left sitting bone. And then go the other direction. For 3, 1, 2, and 1. And then back up your right hip so it's directly over your right knee. And you're going to take the left leg directly out to the side. So if I was facing the camera, it would look like this, where my left thigh is completely out to the side. And then just go ahead and take your right brick out to the right of your right hip and inhale your hand up to the ceiling, and then alongside your ears, your right ear drapes down to the right shoulder, and you feel your left ribs rainbow up to the sky. Breathe into your left rib cage for 3 and 2 and 1. And like we were working on last month, just inhale your left ear and your left arm alongside of it up a little bit. Drop your ribs down to the floor. And then exhale and drop your right ear to your right shoulder and rainbow your left ribs up to the sky. And then just take that movement a couple of times. This little side neck congruence we were working last month so much, except with the hand on the head. And then the next time your arm is reaching up to the sky, bring it all the way down to the left thigh and bring your body upright. Turn your right palm forward, sky your right hand, and don't lift your shoulder top up so much as lift your lowest right rib up, 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 up. And then exhale, right hand outside left thigh, left hand out to side, step your left shoulder blade back. Take your left hand back a little further and then dive it into your right sideways. So you're twisting left. And just think about your right belly moving to the left for 3 and 2 and 1. And then unwind. Take your hands onto your blocks. You're going to curl your right toes under and straighten out your right leg and take your left foot to your inside of right knee like you're in a tree posture. And this is too much for you, just put your right knee on the ground. Now, reach up between your shoulder blades, press the base of your skull towards the ceiling for 3 and 2 and 1. And then take your left foot at a 45-degree angle out and put your right heel back on the ground. Lift and spread your left toes and fan your foot side to side at that 45-degree angle. So if I was facing front, instead of having it front here, it's going to be out to the side a little bit like that. And while you're pulling your left hip back, push your left heel forward, just lengthening out the back line of the left leg for 3 and 2 and 1. And then just drop your right knee down and let your left knee come in front of your left ankle as much as it wants to. And it's now at that 45-degree ankle. And make another sitting bone circle with that left sitting bone. And when you feel ready, go the other direction. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then back up your right knee, your right hip so it's directly over your right knee, and take your right block behind you so it forms a straight line with that thigh bone that's at a 45-degree angle. And then inhale your left arm up and over alongside your ears. You drape your right ear down onto your right shoulder top and rainbow the left side of your ribs up to the ceiling. Spread those left ribs apart and breathe into that area for 3 and 2 and 1. And then lift your left ear towards your left shoulder, sink your ribs, and then exhale, drop your right ear down and rainbow your ribs up to the ceiling. And just go back and forth a couple of times with that movement. And the next time your arm is up, carry it all the way down to the thigh. Turn your right palm forward. Inhale, elevate your lowest right rib, and exhale your right hand outside your left thigh. Take your left arm out to the side. Step the shoulder blade back. Pull your left hand a little further and dive it into your right side waist. And just feel that twist again to the left for 3 and 2 and 1. And then unfurl hands to blocks, curl right toes under, come into that Dandasana with the left leg in the tree. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then this time, step the left foot directly forward. Lift and spread the toes, fan the foot side to side. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then the right knee is going to come down and the left knee is going to come in front of that left ankle as much as it wants to. And we'll just make this final sitting bone circle, first in one direction and then the other. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then back up your right hip so it's directly over the knee. And we're going to turn around and put that block behind us so we get this long line again. Now, if that feels tippy or uncomfortable, you can just keep your block out to the side, or you can also pick up your left foot and move it a little further to the left to offer your body some stability. And then inhale that left arm alongside the ear, drape your right ear down. Next to your right shoulder, rainbow your ribs up to the sky. On your next inhale, just reverse that and take this little movement of the side waist and the neck that we were doing last month. And the next time your ear is up, just carry that arm down to the thigh. Take your right hand forward and up. Lift your lowest right rib and exhale, right hand outside left thigh. Left hand comes behind. Step your shoulder blade back. Reach that hand a little further back and dive it into your right side waist and turn. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then unfurl, pick up your left foot and just set it down in Ardha Hanumanasana. Lifting up your tail. Remember last time how we had that blanket in the fold of the hips, and just pretend you have a big fat blanket there, and you're kind of trying to elevate up and over as you fold forward. Push into your left big toe mound, fan your foot side to side a little bit. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then just take your blocks on a little walk over to the right. Let your left block walk further than your right block without elevating your left shoulder, but instead pulling your lowest left rib up away from the hip crest, and then press your tail back behind you towards the left side of your mat so you feel some elongation. Now we're starting to get into that spot we touched at the bottom tip of the left shoulder blade. So take your breath directly there. Huge inhale, puffing up that space, and pretty forceful exhalation out of it. Now firm your right hand into the block, unfurl your left hand up to the sky, go as wide as you can across the collarbones, and then just drape that right ear down to the right shoulder, rainbow your ribs up to the sky, feel that open left rib cage as the rib tips spread apart, and then go ahead and step your left shoulder blade back, dive your left hand a little further back and then down into your right side waist. Lift, elevate your left shoulder top, and then draw it forward and down. So you're just drawing a clockwise circle with your shoulder head on the ceiling. For 3, 2, and 1. And then let that left hand come down and catch its block and walk it underneath the right arm. Flip the palm over and cinch the fingers towards the back edge of the block. At the same time that you're reaching your fingers back, pull your left shoulder blade towards the front of the mat. See if you can open up the back line of that arm as you turn your belly to the right. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then unfurl and walk your blocks past your left leg. Keep walking past your left leg and let your right block walk a little further away from you than your left block. Pin your right hip over to the right side of the mat and breathe into your right rib cage. For 3, and 2, and 1. Now walk your blocks a little closer to you and take them up a notch, and then bend your left knee And now you've got your hands on your blocks outside of your left thigh. And as you inhale, just reach your sternum forward and take your hips towards the blocks a little bit. Take a little look up. And as you exhale, reach the hips behind you and cat arch your back as much as you can. And just target that place at the bottom tip of your shoulder blades. Inhale, little dog tilt. You're trying to pull the shoulder blades down into that space. And exhale, cat arch. You're trying to lengthen that space out at the bottom tip of your shoulder blades. Just where we were breathing in that first cat arch. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then walk your blocks around to the front of the mat and step your left foot back. Dandasana. This time we'll have both feet on the ground. Pull your hip crest forward, reach your heels back, lift up between the shoulder blades and take the base of the skull up toward the ceiling. Hi, Alicia. Nice to see you. Sorry I didn't greet you earlier at the beginning of class. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now step your left foot forward. No, I'm just kidding. Step your right foot forward, lift and spread your right toes, fan your right foot side to side, and cat arch your back a little. Let your base of skull go. Breathe into that bottom tip of shoulder blade area. And as you pull your right hip back, push your right heel forward, like you're trying to lengthen the back line of the right leg in both directions. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then the left knee is going to come down and the right knee is going to come in front of the ankle as much as it wants to. And you're going to just get a little sitting bone circle on this side. Just notice how the two sides are different. And then go the other direction. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then back up your left hip so it's directly over your left knee. And just take your right knee out to the side so your thigh is making a line that's very flush to the front edge of your body. And then you're going to take your left block down outside of your left knee and hip, and right arm comes alongside the ear. Just straight that left ear down to left shoulder, rainbow right ribs up to sky, spreading rib tips. And then on your next inhale, take right ear and right arm up and drop the ribs down. And then exhale and reverse, this little motion we were doing all last month of the side of the waist and the neck moving in tandem for 3 and 2 and 1. And the next time the arm is up in the air, just let it travel all the way down to the right thigh and then come up and take your left palm forward and lift it, lifting up your lowest left rib. And then exhale, left hand outside right thigh, unfurl your right arm, step your right shoulder blade back, take your right hand a little further back and then dive it into your left side waist and really turn to the right. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then just unfurl from that. Take your hands back to your blocks, curl your left toes under, take yourself into a Dandasana, and right foot is going to come to inner left knee in the tree pose. We're picking up between the shoulder blades and the base of the skull is rising up toward the ceiling. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then we're just going to step that right foot forward at a 45-degree angle. Drop the left hip down, pull the right hip back, push the right heel into the floor, and fan that right foot side to side. And again, it's like we're trying to elongate the back of the right leg, but we've got to stretch a little bit more on the medial side, on the inside thigh than before. For 3 and 2 and 1. Now drop your left knee down and let your right knee come in front of your right ankle as much as it wants to, but it's still off at that 45-degree angle. And take a little sitting bone circle. And when you're ready, go the other direction. For 3 and 2 and 1, and then back up so your left hip's over your left knee, and then you're just going to take your brick behind you so that it's in line with that front thigh, and draw your right arm up and alongside your ear. Drape your left ear down to your left shoulder and rainbow your right ribs up to the sky. Spread your rib tips. And on your next inhale, lift the head and the arm and drop the ribs, and then just go side to side, belling your rib cage, belling your lungs from one side to the other while your ear goes to the opposite shoulder. And the next time your arm is up, just take your hand down and travel it all the way to the thigh, and then your left palm's going to come forward and up. Lift that lowest left rib and exhale, left hand outside right thigh. Unfurl your right arm, step the right shoulder blade back. Take that right hand back a little further and dive it into the left sideways. Turn your belly for 3, 2, and 1. And then go ahead and unfurl out of there. Hands to blocks, curl your left toes under. Come into your Dandasana with the right leg and a tree pose. Big smile. 3, 2, and 1. And then just step that right foot directly forward. Put your left heel back on the ground. Push your right heel down as you pull your right hip back and fan that foot side to side. For 3, 2, and 1. Drop left knee down. Right knee comes in front of right ankle. Last time, we're going to make a little sitting bone circle here. First in one direction, and then the other one for 3, and 2, and 1. And then back up your left hip so it's right over your left knee. And again, we're going to take the left block behind us so it kind of makes one long line with the front thigh. But if that's too tippy, just take your block out to the side. And you can also move your right foot all the way out to the edge of your mat to give you a little bit more stability. And then take your right arm alongside your right ear, drape your left ear down to left shoulder, and spread your right rib tips as the right rib cage rainbows up to the sky. Then go ahead and inhale, lift your arm and your ear, and exhale, drop it back down. And your rib cage, your lungs are going the other direction. For 3, 2, and 1. And the next time your arm is up, just let it travel all the way down so your hand catches onto your thigh. Left palm is going to come forward and elevate. Lowest left rib picking up away from the hip crest, and then left hand outside right thigh. Right arm unfurls. Step your right shoulder blade back. Take your right hand a little further back and dive it into your left sideways. Turn your belly. 3, 2, and 1. And then release, unfurl. Take your hands back to your blocks. Curl your left toes under. Come to your Dandasana. You've got your right foot inside your left thigh for 3, 2, and 1. And then just take that right foot down and step the left foot forward again. Drop your right knee down. So we're going to spread that left foot out to the side again. Right knee might come out to the right a little bit more, so we're like on train tracks instead of having the left foot in front of the left knee. And just concentrate on your left sacral edge. See if you can drop the left edge of your sacrum back a little bit and sink it down so that your pelvis is pretty equilibrated, because otherwise the left side will pull forward. So when you do that active equilibration, hopefully your right glute turns on, your right hamstring turns on, your right quad will work a little harder. And then we're going to turn the right palm forward, elevate up, lifting up that lowest right rib, right hand behind the head, reach the elbow over to the left and let the shoulder blade, right shoulder blade, follow that elbow as it goes left. And then just drop that right elbow outside your left thigh. Take your hands to namaste and turn your belly. Now, just like we did at the beginning of class, think about your right toes turning left a little bit, your right knee internally rotating, hip, rib, and collarbone, as if that whole right foam roller on the right side of your body was internally rotating a little bit here. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then release. Take your hands back to the blocks. Step your left foot back. Dandasana. For 3, 2, and 1. And then just step your right foot forward. Drop your left knee down. Scoot your right foot. Oh, pick up your right foot and drop your heel down so you're in Ardha Hanumanasana. Press your right big toe mount forward and fan your foot side to side. For 3, and 2, and 1. Now walk your blocks over to the left. Walk your right block a little further to the left than your left block. So you can really elongate at the bottom tip of your right shoulder blade. And then inhale, fill up that spot, and exhale forcefully. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. And firm your left hand into its block, unfurl your right arm up to the sky, widen across the collarbones, and then drape your left ear down to your left shoulder as your right rib cage rainbows up to the sky. And then step your right shoulder blade back, take your right hand a little further back and dive it into your left side waist. Take your shoulder top up towards your ear, and this time you're going to drag it back and down. So your shoulder head is still making a clockwise circle. We're going the other direction than on the other side. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then release that hand and let it come down for its block and walk it underneath the left arm. Flip your palm, cinch those fingertips towards the back of the block and pull your right shoulder blade towards the front of the mat, elongating the outside edge of the arm across the shoulder blade to the spine as your belly turns left. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then just release out of there and walk all the way past your right leg to the outside, and then bend your right knee and take your blocks 1 higher. And then as you inhale, you're just going to lean towards your blocks and try to get a little dog tilt in your back. And as you lean your pelvis away, you're going to cat arch a little bit and breathe into the point at the bottom tip of your shoulder blades. Inhale and dog tilt a little bit, and exhale and cat arch. Inhale and dog tilt a little bit, and exhale and cat arch. 1 more. And then walk your blocks around and separate your right foot all the way out to the edge of the mat and your left knee out so you're more on train tracks. And then let that right edge of sacrum draw back and sink down. Left palm is coming forward and up. And then take that hand to the back of the head and wrap the elbow around to the right. Let your left shoulder blade follow the elbow, and then take that elbow outside of the thigh. Take your hands together to namaste. Turn the belly to the right. Now think about your right toes pointing, your left toes pointing to the right a little bit. Your left knee turning inward, your left hip, rib, and collarbone. And see if you can get the whole foam roller on the left side of your body internally rotating here. And then breathe at the bottom tip of your shoulder blade. For 3, 2, and 1. And then release and step back. Dandasana. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then we're going to take the left foot forward again. Drop your right knee down and separate your knees again. So your right knee's coming out to the right, your left foot's coming out to the left, and then drop your left edge of sacrum back and down and concentrate on your navel going side to side and let it just swing side to side so much that your arms start to go with it. 3 and 1, and then just turn your whole body to the right so that your right knee is a little bit outside of your right hip and your left foot is parallel to the front of your mat going front to back. And then just shoot your block up to the sky. Try not to lose your rib cage into a shear, but see if you can keep your rib cage flush to the front edge of your body, but just elevate it, pick it up away from the hip crest and elongate the side bodies as much as possible. And then take that block behind the head, press head into brick, brick into head. Take an easy inhale, and as you exhale, drop your left elbow down to your left knee. As you inhale, pull your right elbow back behind you, and then breathe into your low right ribs as you spread those rib tips apart. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then inhale your way up. Squeeze an imaginary block between your thighs as you exhale, right elbow down. Inhale, left elbow back. Breathe into your left rib tips. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then inhale your way up and exhale your way back down to the other side. Inhale, open up that right elbow and take your breath a little higher into your upper ribs. So it's right outside your breast tissue. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then inhale your way up. Squeeze imaginary block between thighs as you exhale your way down. Inhale opens that left elbow. Take your breath high up in the upper left ribs. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then inhale your way up and exhale your way down. But this time turn your right elbow towards the ground and let that right shoulder blade chase after it. Really breathe into that bottom tip of right shoulder blade. That's the area that we're after. For 3, and 2, and 1. On your next inhale, really press block into brick, block into head, head into block, and then open up your right wing. Look up at your right elbow as you draw that right elbow back. Sink your right shoulder blade down towards the right pelvic edge. Breathe under your right collarbone. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then release. Tuck your right toes under. Exhale, straighten out that leg and walk it out to the side so you're in a straddle, Upavishta Konasana. Inhale, look halfway up, and exhale, just drop your head onto a block or onto the floor and take a couple of resting breaths there. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then inhale, look halfway up. And exhale, walk your hands over towards your left foot. Walk your right hand a little further than your left hand. Really contract the left side of your waist as you elongate and rainbow the right side ribs out toward the right. Your left ear can even come towards your left shoulder a little bit. And just feel that asymmetry in the body. Breathe to the bottom tip of your right shoulder blade. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then just firm your hand into the floor or into a block, wherever you want to take it, and unfurl your left hand up to the sky. Step your left shoulder blade back a little bit. Reach your left hand a little further back, and then dive it into your right side waist or into the inside of your right thigh. For 3, and 2, And 1. And then release. Bend your knees. Don't let your knees come forward. Instead, as you bend your knees, sit your glutes way back behind you. Take an easy inhale and straighten your right leg. Push your heel away from you and reach your left knee out into an imaginary block that you're pushing out to the side as you wax off your left foot pushing and turning like it's got a jar lid under it that it's opening. Feel your left glute activate. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. And as you exhale, push your left heel away from you and really straighten that left leg out firmly as you push your right knee out into an imaginary block. Turn your foot into the ground. Wax that foot off for 3, and 2, and 1. And then just go side to side. It's not a very stretchy movement. It's a very strong muscular action where you're really trying to engage all the parts of your leg until your hands get lighter and lighter on the blocks or on the floor, wherever they are. They might come out to the sides if they feel like it. For 3, and 2, and 1. And next time you're in the middle, go ahead and round up. Roll up 1 vertebra at a time. And just internally rotate your right foam roller. And as you do, take your navel to the left and just feel that twist in the body. And then internally rotate your left foam roller, left foot, knee, hip, rib, collarbone. And as you do, take your belly to the right. And then just go side to side. Internally rotate the right side, take your belly to the left. Internally rotate your left side, take your belly to the right. And just go side to side. You want to feel what it's like to use the independent motion of each side body on its journey internally and externally rotating. For 3, and 2, and 1. Next time you're looking left, so your right foam roller is internally rotating, your right foot, knee, hip, rib, and collarbone. Turn your left foot directly out to the side, and then step your right foot out to the right edge of your mat, just for a little stability. As you bend your knee, cat arch, and breathe into that space at the bottom tip of your shoulder blades. Puff up there for 3, and 2, and 1. Now really bend that knee, swing your pelvis forward. See if you can find a little cat arch by dropping your shoulder blades down into that space you were just making. And then cat arch again, straighten your left leg. And then inhale and dog tilt and pull those shoulder blades down into the back door of the heart. And then exhale and cat arch that same space up to the ceiling. Last one. Inhale, little dog tilt here. And exhale, cat arch. Now we're just gonna take the blocks into the hands and take the right knee down to the floor and walk those blocks outside the left knee again. We were here once before. And same action, press the hips towards the blocks and inhale and dog tilt. And then exhale, swing the hips away. Cat arch, try to breathe into that spot at the bottom tip of the right shoulder blade, especially. Inhale. And dog tilt. Exhale and cat arch into that space at the bottom tip of the right shoulder blade. Inhale. And exhale. And then just unfurl from that. Take your left foot out to the left side a little bit. And again, we're going to swing that left edge of sacrum back and down and take the navel side to side. Get the side waist really warm. The arms are going to swing in response to the belly moving. And then the next time your left arm is forward, lift it up and take it behind your head. Reach your right elbow over towards the left. Let your shoulder blade follow it and drop it outside that left thigh. Take your palms together. Turn your right foam roller internally. Right toe, knee, hip, rib, and collarbone turning to the left. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then we're going to take the right block down 1 notch onto the floor, curl right toes under, and straighten out that right leg. Our feet are still in train tracks on either side of the mat. If your back foot is too far away from you, you can pull it forward. Firm your right hand into the block and then unfurl your left hand to the sky. Parivriti Trikonasana. And just think about all that work we were doing at the bottom tip of the shoulder blades, getting that mobile, and just rotate that area a little bit further as you step your left shoulder blade back, take that left hand behind you, dive that left hand down into your right side waist or to the front of your right hip, wherever you can find it. And just think about internally rotating your right foam roller. You're not going to move your right foot, but you're thinking about your toes reaching left, your knee, your right hip, your right rib, your right collarbone internally rotating while your navel's reaching left. For 3 and 2 and 1. Nice postures. And then just unfurl, take that right block up a notch and walk both blocks as far away from you as you can get them, and just elongate your sideways. Pull your left hip back while you're pushing your left heel into the floor. Get your sideways as long as you can get them. 3 and 2 and 1. And then go ahead and step your left foot back so that you're in the Dandasana, and drop your knees down. Take a couple of dog cats here. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then go ahead and take your right foot frontward, and you're going to swing your left leg shank behind you as you turn to the left side of your mat. But I'm going to turn completely around so you can see me. So your left knee is slightly outside of your left hip, and your right foot is parallel to the back edge of the mat. And then try not to shear your rib cage forward, but see if you can keep your low ribs flush to the abdominal wall, and elevate your block up in order to bring your rib cage a little further away from the pelvis and make space for the visceral organs. Lift, 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 and then press block into head into block. Take an easy inhale here. As you exhale, right elbow comes down to right knee. Inhale, left elbow back, and breathe into low left ribs. For 3 and 2 and 1. And inhale your way up. Squeeze imaginary block between thighs as you exhale, left elbow down. Inhale, right elbow back. Breathe into right rib tip spreading. 3, 2, 1. Inhale your way up. Exhale your way down. Inhale, the left elbow comes back, and take your breath a little higher into upper left ribs. For 3 and 2 and 1. Inhale your way up, squeeze imaginary block. Exhale your way down. Inhale, right elbow comes back. Breathe into upper right ribs. For 3 and 2 and 1. Inhale your way up. Exhale down, and this time turn your left elbow toward the mat. Let your left shoulder blade follow after it, and just Find that space at the bottom tip of the left shoulder blade, back door of the heart. Really inhale, puff up there with your breath, and exhale out of there. On your next inhale, push your brick into your head into your brick as you unfurl your left wing. Look up, drop your left shoulder blade down towards the back rim of the pelvis and breathe under your left collarbone as you draw your left elbow back. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then just release out of there, curl your left toes under. Exhale, straighten that left leg and bring it forward so you're in Upavishta Konasana. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, forward fold and rest your head on a block or on the floor and breathe. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then inhale, look halfway up and exhale, walk your hands around to the right side. Walk your left hand a little further than your right hand. And then just concentrate on contracting your right side waist as your right lowest rib and your right hip crest draw together, and expanding your left ribs and rainbowing your ribs out to the left as your right ear comes towards your right shoulder. 3, 2, 1. And then firm your left hand into the ground or into a block and unfurl your right hand up to the sky. Step your right shoulder blade back a little bit. Take your right hand further back and dive it into your left side waist or to the front of your left thigh and turn your belly to the right. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then unfurl, come back down. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, don't let your knees come forward as they bend, but sit your glutes way back. And just take another set of those side lunges. If you feel like lifting your hands up or taking them elbows clasped behind you, go ahead. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then just go ahead and unfurl up the center and move your navel side to side. And as you do that, internally rotate one foam roller at a time, but let your belly lead the show. Belly leads right, internal foam roller on the left, and vice versa. For 3 and 2 and 1. And next time your belly's facing right, really internally rotate that left foot, knee, hip, rib, and collarbone, and then turn your right foot out to the right. Step your left foot over towards the edge of the mat to give yourself a little stability, and bend your right knee, cat arch. And as you're cat arched here, draped over, try to open up at the bottom tip of that shoulder blade. Just breathe in, puff up there, and exhale forcefully out. Inhale. Back door of the heart, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then really bend that knee. Dog tilt and see if you can drop your shoulder blades into that little space you were making at the bottom tip of your shoulder blades. And then straighten your legs slightly, cat arch there. Inhale, you're not going to go very far and it's a little tippy, so you have to balance at the same time you're trying to get into that little space. Exhale. Notice which side was easier for you. Inhale and exhale. Inhale exhale. And then just take your left knee down to the ground and walk your blocks outside your right knee again. Inhale and press your hips over. Give that little dog tilt. Drop your shoulder blades. Exhale, cat arch, and see how much space you can make at the bottom tip of your left shoulder blade as you're cat arching there. And then inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then just take your left hip directly over your left knee. Drop your right edge of sacrum back and down. Your right foot is on the right edge of your mat. Take your navel side to side. Get as much movement in your side waist as you can. For 3. And 2. And 1. And next time your left palm is forward, take it up behind your head. Wrap your left elbow over towards the right. Let your left shoulder blade follow it, and take that outside of that right thigh. Take your hands together and internally rotate that left foam roller. So you're not going to pick up your left toes, but they're reaching for the right. Your left knee, hip, rib, and collarbone all turning to the right as your belly reaches right. For 3. And 2. And 1. And then reclaim your blocks and take your left block down a notch. Curl your left toes under and exhale, cat arching. If your left foot seems really far away from you, you can hop it forward a little bit depending on where you feel comfortable. And then firm your left hand into the block and unfurl your right arm up to the sky. Step your right shoulder blade back. Take your right hand a little further back behind you. Dive it into left side waist or to the front of that left thigh and turn your belly. And just feel that play at the bottom tip of the shoulder blades we've been creating here in this practice for 3. And 2. And 1. And then unfurl. Take your left block up a notch and walk your blocks out as far as you can in front of you. Elongate your pyramid as much as you can. Your hips are reaching back. Your rib cage is reaching forward. For 3. And 2. And 1. And then go ahead and pull those blocks in. Step your right foot back. Take your knees down and just take some more dog cat. For 3. And 2. And 1. And then step your right foot forward. Walk your blocks around to the side again. Take your hands to your hips and roll up 1 vertebra at a time. And then just turn your right toes out and your left toes in. We're going to go for that same action of internally rotating left toe, knee, hip, rib, and collarbone. A little internal rotation on that side. But as the belly has been going in the same direction, we're actually going to turn the belly against that rotation in the leg. So now we've got left toe, knee, hip really turning inward, but the right belly is combating that internal rotation. And then just go ahead and bend your right leg and add your arms. Externally rotate your right quad. Look over your right fingers. Warrior 2. For 3. And 2. And 1. Now take your right forearm very gently down on your right thigh, like I could slide a piece of paper under it. And left arm's coming alongside the ear. You're going to drape your right ear down to your right shoulder and rainbow your left ribs up to the sky. And then just go back and forth with that little rib ear confluence. 3, 2, 1. And the next time your ear is up and your arm is up, take your arm all the way down to the left thigh, turn your right palm over and sky it. So we're going to spread those right rib tips, both the lower and the upper ones. Really get a lot of space in there as your left side waist is contracting. For 3, 2, and 1. Now straighten your right leg, press your left hip left. Try to keep this inequality in the rib cage. So the right rib cage is extending, the left rib cage is contracting. As you extend over, right hand comes to right ankle or to the block, wherever you'd like. Trikonasana. Now unfurl your left arm to sky, step left shoulder blade back, left hand comes back and turn the belly to the left. Just notice that extension of the right side body that we were working there. For 3, and 2, and 1. Feel free to keep your hand up there. Feel free to step your left shoulder blade back, take your left hand a little further back, dive it into right side waist or inside of right thigh. Either way, you're going to look down at your right foot, step into the middle of your right heel strike, and roll through your right big toe mound as you take your block forward, Ardha Chandrasana. And turn your belly to the left for 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now we're going to drop the left hip down without putting the left foot down. And then just take your block underneath both hands for a second. You've got both hips facing the floor, but you're going to concentrate on this left foam roller internally rotating. So turn your left toes to the right, your left knee, your left hip, your left rib, your left collarbone, all turning right. And then take the block under your left hand a little further out to the side and unfurl your right arm up to the sky. Turn your belly to the right. Step your right shoulder blade back. Open your right hand a little further. Parivrit Ardha Chandra, using that left foam roller idea for 3, and 2, and 1. And then super quietly, like you're trying to make no noise in a pile of leaves, just step that left foot down. Walk your hands over towards the left side of your mat and forward fold again. Breathe. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then micro bend your knees and roll up one vertebra at a time. And turn your left toes out. So we're going to just use that foam roller idea on the right side. Turn your right toes, knee, hip, rib, collarbone in for a second. Feel that activation. And then we're just going to come against that with the left belly. Instead of turning to the left as it has been, it's going to turn to the right. The bottom half of your foam roller is still turning in, but your upper body starts to follow your belly over towards the right a little bit. And then just when you're ready, bend your left knee, externally rotate that left quad, take your arms up. Feel that internal rotation, right leg, but the belly's going right. The belly's turning the other direction. 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to take the left forearm down very lightly so you could like slide a piece of paper underneath it. Right arm alongside the ear. Let that left ear drape down. Let your right ribs rainbow up to the sky for a minute. And then as you inhale, arm up and ear up, ribs down. As you exhale, ear down, ribs up. Just go side to side a little bit. You're not going to go very far. You're a little tippy. You have to balance at the same time. 3. And 1. And next time your arm's up, just let it travel all the way down to that thigh and then flip your left hand and sky it. Breathe apart. Spread your rib tips, both bottom left ribs and up outside the breast tissue, lengthening and elongating. Right side waist is really contracting. 3, 2, and 1. And then just straighten your left leg and see if you can keep this asymmetry. So I've got this steep contraction in the right rib cage, and I've got this elongation in the left side. Bump your hip over to the right and reach your torso over to the left. You can take your left hand to your shin or to a block, wherever you'd like. Unfurl your right hand up to sky. You can leave it there or step your shoulder blade back, take your hand a little further back and dive into left side waist or left inside thigh, wherever you'd like to go with that. And just keep elongating that left rib. Keep contracting the right rib. Vinyasa. 3, 2, and 1. Now look down at your left foot, step into the middle of your heel strike, take your left block forward and lift your right leg up. Ardha Chandra, belly's turning up to the sky for 3, and 2, and 1. Now we're going to release that right hand, take it down onto the same block, and get into that internal foam roller on the right side. So turn your right foot in a little bit, your right knee, your right hip, your right lowest rib, your right collarbone. Everything's turning in. And then you're going to take your block a little further out to the right in your right hand and sky the left hand. Turn your belly to the left. Step your left shoulder blade back. Take your left hand a little further back. Parivrita Ardha Chandrasana. For 3. Really beautiful postures. Nice job. 2, and 1. And then just very quietly, very slowly, step your left foot back so you don't want to make any noise in your pile of leaves. And then step your other foot back and come down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling cobra or upward facing dog, and exhaling child's pose. And just take a bunch of breaths there, breathing into that area at the bottom tip of your shoulder blades. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then go ahead and walk your hands back towards yourself. Roll up to seated. Feel free to take a shirsha or just take your legs up the wall for a moment. So your heels, calves, glutes, thighs are all on the wall. And just give your body a chance to recalibrate. Wherever you are, just get really aware of that space at the bottom tip of your shoulder blades and its movement. How much inflow can we get into the lung tissue in that area? For 3, and 2, and 1. And then stay up as long as you'd like. Whenever you feel ready, you can come down and join us. And if you're already down, just turn over so that you're in the fetal position on your right side. Press your left palm into the floor and come up to seated. All right, so we've been doing this roll between the ribs, and we're going to start in that same place with the ball at the bottom tip of the right shoulder blade. So we're just going to take the ball right there and place it between two ribs. The hands come behind the head, and we're just going to roll to the side. If that's too much sensation, you can have your elbows down, or you can put your shoulders on the floor and lift your pelvis. You're just rolling the ball between those two ribs as we're opening up this space. And we've been working it for a couple weeks, priming that area. 3, 1. Then we're going to roll the ball down between the next two ribs, elbows down, and just draw the ball there. If you have the capacity, you could take your arms up, but if it's too much, just leave your elbows on the mat. And you're going side to side between the next two ribs. 3, 2, 1. And then you're going to roll that ball down, and it's right below the bottom rib now. And just lie all the way down. Lift up the pelvis a little bit, and then roll the ball side to side across that QL insertion into respiratory diaphragm and low rib. 3, 2, and 1. And then roll your ball down again so it's not touching the bottom rib or the top of the pelvis if you have the room. And just go side to side. Right across the belly of the QL. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then roll the ball down again. So it's just across the top of the pelvis like a ball on a track. And next time you're up against the right edge of the spine, just take a couple of dog-cat tilts and feel the ball riding up onto the top edge of the sacrum and then back into the lumbar spine. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then roll into the right glute, pin it, lift your right knee, and take your right knee into a circle. If you need more sensation, lift your left heel off the ground or take your left knee and glue it to your right knee. For 3, and 2, and 1. And step your left foot down, reach your right foot long, turn your navel 45 degrees to the right. Feel free to keep your torso down on the ground or come up and put your right forearm into the mat. Bury the outside edge of your right foot into the mat and then bend and straighten your knee. You're rolling out the back fibers of your glute med. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then turn your navel 45 degrees more so it's facing the side wall, and just make a donut hole circle around your greater trochanter, that big bump on the outside of your hip, the widest part of your hip. And just circle around it. 3, 2, 1. Now step left foot in front of right thigh, turn navel 45 degrees down so it's facing sort of towards the floor. And just roll around right at the top of your IT band. It's like the ball is in the front pocket of your jeans. You're just looking for a little owie spot on the front edge. 3. I know where that little change pocket is on your pants. And 2. And 1. And then let the ball roll into your right sideways so it's above your hip crest and below your rib cage. Inhale, puff up into the ball. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, puff up. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, puff up. Exhale, sink down. And just keep as much weight as you can on the ball and take a couple of dog cat tilts. And see if you can get the ball to wend its way a little bit more deeply into the side waist. For 3. And 2. And 1. Then step your left foot behind you. Turn your navel 45 degrees up to the sky and feel that ball in the side of the back or in the back of the side, right where the QL meets the side muscle, the oblique muscles, and just go in and out of that area right along the side of the back or the back of the side. For 3. And 1. And take your time. And when you feel ready, just come off there and lie flat on your back and see if it made any difference to do that little roll on the right side of your body. If it's feeling more integrated, more relaxed, closer to the mat. Just noticing your body. And when you feel ready, you're going to take that ball behind the left bottom tip of shoulder blade. And again, hands behind head or elbows on the floor, your choice. And just go side to side, tracing a little path between the 2 ribs there. The side might be more sore, more immobile, because that left respiratory diaphragm, the leaflet is much smaller and more underutilized. And then we're going to roll it down a little bit so it's between the next 2 ribs. You could keep your elbows on the floor. That feels comfortable. If you need more sensation, you can take your hands behind your head. And then we're just going to roll the ball down underneath the left lowest rib. Take the upper body down onto the mat. Take all your weight into your feet and just roll side to side. And when you're ready, just roll that ball down another inch so that it's not touching your lowest left rib or the left hip crest. Some people can't do that. They don't have enough space there. But if you can, you want to just get the ball free into the belly of the QL. 3. And then roll the ball down so it's like a ball on a track right above the left pelvic rim and just go side to side. Next time you're up against the left edge of the spine, just take some dog cat tilts and see if you can feel the ball rolling up onto the top edge of the sacrum and nodding it into the body and then back into the lumbar spine. For 3. And 2. and 1. And then just roll that ball right into your glute. You're looking for a little owie spot, which you're going to pin and then make a circle with your left knee. If you need more sensation, you can lift your right heel off the ground or pin your knees together and make a circle. For 3, 2, and 1. And then straighten out your left leg. Turn your navel 45 degrees to the left. Leave your torso down or come up on your forearm. Pin the outer edge of your left foot into the mat and bend and straighten your leg. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then turn your navel again. Just roll around the donut around that greater trochanter bump. 3, 1. Right foot steps in front of left thigh. Turn navel one more time and just roll around like you're trying to stuff that ball into the change pocket of your jeans. For 3, 2, and 1. And then just roll the ball up so it's above your hip crest and below your rib cage. Inhale, puff up towards the ball. And then exhale and sink down on it. Inhale, puff your belly towards the ball. And exhale and sink down. Let that ball wend its way into your side body. Inhale, puff up. Exhale, sink down. And then just take a couple of dog cats there. And finally, step your right foot behind you. Turn your navel 45 degrees up to the sky and just roll in and out of the side of your back or the back of your side. If you can find some little owie bits from really breathing into that area at the bottom tip of your shoulder blade. Loosening up the fascia that binds that posterior mediastinum. 3, 2, and 1. Take your time. But when you're ready, come off, lie flat on your back and just notice. You can go right into a Shava here. Or if you have another part you'd like to roll, you can go ahead and do that. Up to you. Take an easy inhale through the nose. Long, slow exhalation out the mouth. Inhaling nose. Sighing out the mouth. Inhaling nose. Let everything go. And rolling over on your right side into the fetal position. Taking a moment of gratitude for the miracle of your body, for your strong legs and your strong arms, for the good gift of eyes that see and ears that hear. Such amazing blessings. And then grounding your left palm into the mat, coming gently up to seated, allowing your head to hang until the very end. Taking a moment in your seated position to notice any effects from the practice in the body, in the depth of the breathing, in the release of the muscle sheath, or in the ease of the mind. And then inhaling your hands up overhead, letting your palms touch, drawing thumbs down to forehead, asking for generous thoughts, and to the lips for kind speech, and to the heart for clear intentions. Namaste.